Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in, amma ba'd. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, sisters. How's everyone feeling today? May Allah SWT gives you lots of happiness, feeling of calmness, peace, basically all the positive emotions, inshallah, in your heart. And how has Ramadan been for you so far? Have you been consistent in doing all the good acts that you have started doing it ever since Ramadan came? Maybe you have started doing your Salatul Nafil, which is the Sunnah prayers, or you have added the amount of donation, you have added the amount of dhikr that you want to do every day. So how has it been going? Have you been consistent? If yes, mashallah, tabarakallah. But if no, it's okay. Do not lose hope. Just try to do it again and again and again. Okay, if you fall once, doesn't mean that you will fall for all of the rest of your life. It doesn't mean that. Okay, remember Allah SWT, He does not look at the start of an act, but He looks at the khatimah. He looks at the end of an act. So whatever you have to do, you have to always keep trying. Do not lose hope in Allah SWT, and do not give up. Allah looks at our effort, inshallah. And we have all agreed that Allah SWT, He's the most loving, He's the most merciful, He's the most gracious, the most forgiving. Basically, all the positive attributes, we can find it in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Correct? So, I have a question for you. Try to think of something that can make you remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala immediately. Basically an item that reminds you of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala instantly. Anything. It's something common actually. What do you guys think? Yeah, I'm pretty sure all of you here, or at least most of you here, have the same answer, which is Al-Qur'an Al-Kareem. Yes, Al-Qur'an Al-Kareem and Allah. Allah and Al-Qur'an Al-Kareem. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He revealed the Qur'an, and Al-Qur'an, it was revealed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is also known as the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, if you want to talk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you pray. Because in our prayer, we read Al-Fatiha. And one of the ayah is Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Basically, it means Iyyaka na'budu, to you we worship. So we are talking to Allah. We say, you, O Allah, to you we worship. We are using the pronoun you. We do not say Iyyahu na'budu. We do not say to Him we are worshipping, or to Him we worship. No, we say Iyyaka na'budu. So remember, when you do your prayer, it doesn't matter whether it's a fard prayer, whether it's a compulsory prayer or a sunnah prayer. It's basically a communication between you, the servant, and our Allah, which is our God. However, if you read the Qur'an, it's as if Allah SWT is communicating to you. Because in Qur'an, you can find many things, mashallah. It's not just in a book, you know, it's an extraordinary book. It's more than that. It contains of everything, literally everything. If you really study Al-Qur'an, you can find everything, be it mathematics, science, philosophy, motivational quotes, everything is in the Qur'an. It's complete, mashallah. Do you know how special the Qur'an is in Allah SWT eyes? Let's look at the examples. So Al-Qur'an, it was revealed in the month of Ramadan, and therefore Ramadan, it becomes the best of month. And Al-Qur'an, it was revealed upon our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and therefore Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he became the best of men and the best of the prophets. And then Al-Qur'an Al-Kareem, it was also revealed on the night of Laylatul Qadr, and as a result, Laylatul Qadr, it becomes the best of night, mashallah. And not just that, Allah SWT, He instructed an angel called Jibril to reveal the wahyu, or the Al-Quran, to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And as a result, Angel Jibril, he became the best of angel. And last but not least, Allah, or actually Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, mentioned in a hadith, he said, "Khairukum man ta'allama al-Quran wa 'allamahu." So, which means the best of you are those who learn the Quran and teach it to others. So why are you considered as the best? Because you are teaching the Quran and you are learning the Quran. So anything to do with the Quran basically is the best thing to do. Okay, it makes you like the perfect person, because you are doing something that's related to the Quran. Oh yes, do you know that Rasulullah SAW, or Prophet Allah SWT, He revealed the Quran for us, for the nations of Prophet Muhammad SAW, and therefore we, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's ummah, becomes the best of nation. Just look at how passionate, how beautiful Al-Quran is in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Al-Quran, it is not, like we say, Al-Quran is not just a book, it's more than that. In Al-Quran, you can find so many stories, be it stories that have happened before in the past, stories that is happening or are happening, stories that will happen. For example, the stories of the things that will happen are basically the stories of the people of Nar, the people of hellfire. Or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us about the people of Jannah, which is us, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us firdaus. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us about the people of Al-Jannah, which is the people of paradise. So there are so many examples of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling us the story in the future, or what's going to happen in the future. And not just that, Al-Quran is also a book of motivations. Why do I say that? If you feel sad, just flip any page, inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you that feeling of calmness. Whether you read an ayah regarding a Muslim or a non-Muslim, it doesn't matter. But specifically, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا, surely after every hardship comes ease. So that's actually a motivational quote from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is trying to say, if you are feeling very, very stressed right now, remember there's ease afterwards. So do not give up. That's ease afterwards. That's a promise from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fulfills all of His promises. So remember, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He reveals an ayah, it's not just for the sake of revealing it, but it's also for us, for His nation, for His servants, okay, for us, which is Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's nation. Then Al-Quran Al-Kareem, we can find so many Islamic laws in Al-Quran Al-Kareem. As we know, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran about us, the commandment of Allah, from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon us, the Muslims, and also the Muslimahs, basically the women and also the men, it's compulsory to cover our aurah. So we can find that hukum, that law in Al-Quran. Or not just that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also mentioned وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ, and perform your prayer. So how do we know that prayer it is wajib? How do we know that prayer it is compulsory upon us, the Muslims? It's from the Quran. And how do we know that zakah it is compulsory? It's also from the Quran. So basically, Al-Quran is the book of law. And of course, you have hadith as well. Other than that, Al-Quran is also a book of cure. Why do I say that? For instance, once Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he felt so sad due to an incident. Therefore, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He revealed a surah named Surah Ad-Duha to comfort Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So one of the tips that I can share with everyone here is, if you feel sad or distressed or feeling stressed or depressed, one of the things that you can, one of the essential surah that you can read to comfort yourself with its translation will be Surah Ad-Duha, because indeed that Surah Ad-Duha, it's a comforting surah for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if you were to look back at all these points, it being a book of stories, it being the book of law, it being the book of motivations and cure, it's actually the love language of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for us. Why do I say love language? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He allowed us to talk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from while during our prayer, okay? And so another type of His love is that He sent us Al-Quran. And remember, if we really apply Al-Quran in our life, we will never ever feel sad, or basically it's okay to feel sad. What do I mean is that we will never ever feel depressed. Why? Because we have Al-Quran, because we learn Al-Quran. You know, Al-Quran is not just for you to read it. You have to also understand it with its meaning. So study the Quran, inshallah, you will feel the benefits of the Quran, and do not forget to apply the Quran for yourself. Okay? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He once mentioned in the Quran itself, of course, so He said, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا كَافَةً لِلنَّاسِ, which means, and we have not sent you except to all mankind. So this you here, it refers to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. However, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he comes with the Quran. So it's the same. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He sent Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Quran not just for the Arabs, but also for the non-Arabs. Which means not just for the Muslims, but also for the non-Muslims. Okay, whether you're an Arab, whether you're a non-Muslim, you deserve to read the Quran. And we know that there are so many stories about the non-Muslims. When they listen to the recitation of Quran, what do they feel? They feel touched. Some of them even cried without knowing what is Al-Quran. They didn't even know that they were listening to the Al-Quran. Okay, so that's the miracle of Al-Quran. One of the miracles of the Quran is also, have you ever feel bored, or have you ever felt bored or tired of reciting Surah Al-Fatiha in your daily prayers? Because you read it more than 5 times. I mean, you read it in every raka'ah of your daily prayers. But have you ever felt bored of doing so? I'm pretty sure most of your answer, at least most of your answer is a no. Why? Because that's the miracle of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He helps us to remove that boredom from our heart, from the feeling of boredom from our heart, due to reciting the Al-Quran. However, if some of you here, maybe you have felt tired or boring or bored due to reciting Al-Fatiha every day because of the daily prayers, then sit back, okay, just sit and try to reflect and ask Allah for help. Ask Allah to remove that boredom, because as we know that that's not something that we should do, that we should feel as a Muslim. Okay, so it's okay if you feel bored as long as you try to remove it. Okay, but if you do not want to remove it, then that's a problem. Okay, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also, He also mentions in the Quran lots of, like we said, motivational quotes, and also the warnings. The warnings, not for, it's also for us, the Muslims, and also for the non-Muslims. So read the Quran to know more about Islam, and of course you have hadith. Last but not least, do not forget to read the Quran every day. Why? Firstly, is because of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us in a hadith, he said that every letter of the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward you 10 rewards. Okay, and Alif Lam Mim, it is not considered as one letter, but it's considered as Alif, one letter, Lam, one letter, and Mim, one letter. So in total, you will get 30 rewards. So imagine if you read maybe 1 page per day, how many rewards will you get? Right? It will be abundance of rewards. So try to read the Quran. Don't worry if you read it for the rewards. It's not wrong to read the Quran for the sake of rewards. It's not wrong. However, try to improve your niyah, try to improve your intention of reciting the Quran for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and not for something else. Inshallah, let's try together. It's okay. Remember, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala looks at the effort. Okay? So make Al-Quran as your best friend, as in the graveyard there will be no one who will be there to accompany us. Only Al-Quran will be there to accompany us, provided that you're a reader of the Quran. If you expect the Quran to accompany you, or maybe Surah Al-Mulk to accompany you in the graveyard, but yet you do not read it regularly in the Quran, then that's kind of impossible for us to have a friend or Al-Quran as our companion in the graveyard. So do not forget to read Al-Quran every day. Do not find free time. Basically, if you feel very busy, if you are very busy and you feel like you can't read the Quran, just take the Quran at any time, at anywhere. Just make sure that in your phone there's an app specific for Quran for you to read. Okay, do not wait for your free time to read Al-Quran. However, make your time free for Al-Quran. Okay, so I really hope that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to always be together with Al-Quran, to implement Al-Quran in our daily lives, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala look at our effort, inshallah. I really hope that you have benefited at least 1 point from this video, and inshallah, may we be reunited in the Jannatul Firdaus. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.